Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Hardcore Challenge Live, the official webcast of the Hardcore Challenge, the pinnacle of fantasy football competition. And I am your host, the Commish. We are only days out from the first preseason game of 2018. That means shit is about to get real. Fantasy football is upon us. Football is upon us. It's finally here. Finally here. So as we are nearing our 10th draft and the impending start of our historic 10th season in the Hardcore Challenge, we want to take the next two episodes and dedicate them to the breakdown of both sides of the league. Because there is your NFC and there is your AFC. Tonight, we will focus on the NFC. And next Sunday, we will get into the AFC. Of course, there is knowledge for all, so please join us. And anybody who's of the owners in the NFC, towards the end of the show, if you would like to join via split screen, we will issue that invitation at that time. Any of you that are watching through the Facebook app on a mobile device, if you would like to join and lay down the gauntlet, have anything to say to your 15 other owners who you will be battling out with in your conference. So, the NFC is made up of 4 divisions: the Great White North, the Elite East, the Wild West, and the Dirty South, with a total of 16 owners. 4 owners per division. 7 of those owners have never, ever made the playoffs. Mob Adjacent, Take It Deep, the Bears, Black Hole, our newest owner, our only new owner in 2018, the 5-3 Bandits, Joey's Tank Tops, and the Dirt Dogs. None of those 7 owners in the NFC have ever made the playoffs in the Hardcore Challenge. You have 3 owners who have made 1 playoff appearance but still have no playoff wins. The Skull Crushers. The Pack Attack is back. There was one other as well. Mo Betta Butta. Also, with a playoff appearance without a playoff victory in the NFC. Pack Attack is back. It was big for them last season. But we'll see how they fare. We'll see how they fare. There are 2 with 1 playoff appearance and have 1 victory under their belt. Vandalay Industries, who made the playoffs last season for their first time, grabbed 2 playoff wins. Pack Attack is back, like I said, made it, but they did not get one. Skull Crushers also made it for their first time last year and did not get one as well. So with that leaves the top 4, basically, your big dogs in the NFC. That is Average Joe, who's the only one out of your top 4 in the NFC who doesn't have a league title. However, Average Joe has made 3 playoff appearances since joining the league in 2012. They won their division in 2012. Made the playoffs, and then have made the playoffs in back-to-back years in 2016 and 2017, winning their division last year. So they have made 3 playoff appearances, they have 3 playoff wins, and 2 division crowns. They are, if you had to rank the top 4 in the NFC, historically, in the Hardcore Challenge, they would be number 4. Your number 3 would be I Am Groot, who is the 2014 league champion. Playoff appearances of 2011, 2014, 2015. Total playoff victories of 5, 0 division crowns. Almost always bested in the Great White North of the original Hardcore Challenge breakout of 20 owners by their division rival, I'm thinking RBs, now currently named Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. They are your solid number 3. Now your top 2 in the NFC is a clear-cut top 2. Donkey Punch currently is the reigning conference champion, the NFC champ, as they had a great year in 2017. They are also a former champion in 2012. Those are the only 2 years that they have made the playoffs, is 2012 and 2017. Both years making it to the Hardcore Cup. Hardcore Bowl. Playing for the Hardcore Cup. They made it this last year and fell to Knox Vegas Anarchy. New owner Kevin Priest. So Donkey Punch, out of the expansion, first to claim the NFC crown. They are your defending NFC champion. And then there's Oski Assassins. Currently Knoxville Assassins, as they move, so, they changed their name. Still the Assassins, nonetheless. Joined the league in 2010. They rattled off back-to-back division crowns in 2010-2011. Playoff appearances in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. Super Bowl appearances in 2010, 2011, and 2013, as well as grabbing 1 league championship in 2011 as they led the league in scoring that year. 5 playoff victories. But as I ran through all of those dates and all of those playoff appearances, you realize there were none past 2014. So, Brad is owner of Knoxville Assassins, who is historically has to be ranked number 1, has really done nothing in the past 3 full seasons. 2015, nothing. 2016, nothing. 2017, nothing. So why do we believe that trend does not continue? So how do you say that Oski Assassins is the number 1 overall historically in the NFC when Donkey Punches went to 2 as well? Interesting. So that is how your power historically shakes out. Skull Crusher stepped up and looked like they were the team to beat last season. They led the league in scoring, the entire league, AFC and NFC. They were the only double-digit team, AFC and NFC. They were the team to beat out of the gate. It was them and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the defending champ, looking like he was going to step up and make a big, strong push to defend. It looked like Gary was finally putting it together and he was going to be the team to beat. But he made the playoffs, first round bye, and was bounced. Donkey Punch took him down. Subsequently on his way to the Super Bowl appearance, and handily took him down 182 to 150. So the first round bye, the stellar regular season, was all for naught, as Skull Crushers went nowhere. Now the Pack Attack is back was one of the big stories, as Corey, an OG, been in the league since 2010, our second season, and had never, ever made the playoffs. Won his first division, only to get bounced by a team that absolutely limped in at 7-6 on a loss. The weakest team in the entire playoff field. And he gets bounced. But he did win his division, and he did look strong throughout the season. So is he a powerhouse for this season? The NFC, we reshuffled last season. So you now have a whole new league basically in the NFC conference. Now, one of the highlights of the NFC was the battle in the Wild West division as Mo Betta Butta battled with Donkey Punch start to finish from line to line as they met in the final week. Winner takes the division. Donkey Punch took down Mo Betta Butta. Mo Betta Butta took down Donkey Punch, claimed the division crown, knocked Donkey Punch to a wild card, only to do the same as Skull Crushers. Grab the first round bye and do nothing with it. Mo Betta Butta went down to Vandalay Industries in a tough second round defeat, as their first round bye was for naught. Both of the 1 and the 2 seed were bounced without a victory. Both in their first playoff appearance. Now that leaves what was one of the interesting stories in the NFC was Vandalay Industries. They had limped in at 7-6, backed in on a final week loss. And then Pack Attack, they put up a meager 114 points in the wild card round at the 6th seed. Facing off against Pack Attack is back. Corey only musters 103 points. So they limp to the second round. Mo Betta Butta only musters 127 against him as they have an unbelievable game as Vandalay Industries takes him down with 164. Unfortunately, in the NFC Championship game, they came a little bit back to reality with 120 as Donkey Punch put up 145 to move on to Hardcore Bowl 9. Only to fall, unfortunately, as the NFC does not hold the Hardcore Cup for this season. Now, with this being the first year, owners will be selecting keepers from the expansion draft. It will be very interesting to see if the new tier of power remains as it is. Like I said, Skull Crushers has stepped out and looked to be one of the top teams currently in the NFC. Mo Betta Butta as well. Donkey Punch, obviously the current NFC champion. Average Joe. Pack Attack is back, a division champion. Vandalay Industries, I believe, was an absolute fluke Cinderella of a team last season. They're going to have to prove me wrong. I don't see them as one of the top tier power teams, despite the fact they made their first playoff appearance last season and got their first playoff victories. They limped in at 7-6, and I think the record says what they are. Now, like I said, you have the old guard of Knoxville Assassins, who have the most playoff appearances in the entire NFC, but have not made the playoffs since 2014 after a 5-year straight run. They're a former champion. You have 3 former champions. I Am Groot, Donkey Punch, and Knoxville Assassins. 6 Super Bowl appearances total between the 3. Now, coming out in the draft order, which is after the keeper's lock, the first basic business of the 2018 season. You see the 5-3 Bandits with the number 1 overall pick. The Dirt Dogs at the number 2 pick. Now, there were quite a few draft pick trades in the AFC last season, but there were none in the NFC. So it is basically order of finished of power. As Bandits, number 1, number 2, the Dirt Dogs, Mob Adjacent picks 3rd, Renegade Misfits picks 4th, Knoxville Assassins picks 5th, the Bears picks 6th, 7 is Take It Deep, Black Hole picks 8th, Joey's Tank Top picks 9, I Am Groot picks 10, Average Joe picks 11, Pack Attack is Back picks 12, Mo Better Butter picks 13th, Skull Crushers picks 14th, Vandalay Industries picks 15th, and picking last is your NFC Conference Champion, Donkey Punch. $1,000 to win. If you win your conference, you're going to get $500. If you win it all, you get a total of $1,000. So basically, to get another $500 when you win the championship, you get your custom ring and ownership of the cup. The cup is currently in transit. Tom just informed me it is sent off. It's already been shipped, so it is in transit. It'll be fluffed up, make sure everything's intact, and be on its way to Kevin. His little snafu with the ring, it's on its way here shortly as well. Everybody obviously had their money within weeks of the championship. But we're going to add something else. A little extra special. Because we're going to add little treats throughout the season. Special prizes. And we're going to add one more for the champion. And we'll be divulging that next week. One more special treat for winning the Hardcore Cup in 2018, our 10th season. One more little treat we'll be adding next week. So make sure you tune into next Sunday's show, which will be the AFC breakdown. Now we can already put a circle on a possible game of the week in week 1 as Mo Better Butter and Donkey Punch face off in week 1. That is a very interesting matchup as the two jockeyed all the way through with Mo Better Butter taking the division and the two face off in week 1. Division rivals. Who's going to win the third matchup? We'll see. That one's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. Possible game of the week? We will see, because the AFC has a very interesting week 1 matchup as well. So we will have to see. We will have to see. Now, the most important date you have coming up is August 12th. I will be posting the updated list of folks that still need to pay their buy-in. I'll post the list of everybody, all the owners who have paid their buy-in thus far. That way you'll know if your name's not on the list, you still need to get it taken care of. All buy-ins need taken care of by August 12th. All buy-ins need taken care of by August 12th. No exceptions. The draft is on August 19th. AFC draft is at 6. NFC draft is at 8. We will have the live draft coverage show with myself, the commish, and our vice president, Mr. Matt Herron, will be live in studio with me to cover the draft as well. The deadline to get your owner t-shirts, the 2018 Hardcore Challenge, our first owner t-shirts. We're going to have a new design every season, so this is a one-run design. We're taking the pre-orders through August 12th, and then we're putting the order in on the 13th. So if you don't get your shirt, you're never getting one of this design. It's going to be the first one. So if you want to get your Hardcore Challenge owner shirt, there is scroll back on both, either in the owners group or in the Hardcore Challenge webcast group. The post is up in both of them, and the link is right there. It sends you right to the Hardcore Challenge PayPal account, and you can pay it the same way you pay your league buy-in. Now, a lot of you have paid your buy-in, so there's not a lot left that haven't paid. So we are getting that taken care of. So I appreciate those you have got that in. Now, as Mo just mentioned, a new VP must be crowned. A new VP must be crowned. Matt, our current vice president, is going to oversee the draft and be with me here live, and that's going to be his last official duty as vice president. The next day, the new VP will take ownership. We will be holding the election, and I will be taking nominees up until August 12th. August 12th is basically when everything happens. The keepers lock, your buy-ins are due, the t-shirt buy-ins are due, or t-shirt payments due. Everything is now set, and you're ready for the draft on the 19th. During that week, we are going to have our vice president election. And we will close out the election and name the new vice president live with our current vice president here in studio with me on draft night. And then the new VP will start his duties the following day as the season kicks off. As all the insanity ensues, trades will be happening, all kinds of crazy shit will be happening the day after the draft. Everybody will be figured out because games aren't too far after that. Now, we do have an extra week or so than we typically normally have before the start of the season between our drafts. So that'll give everybody a little extra time to shuffle roster-wise and, do what you need to do. So it's going to be very interesting. So, to recap, in addition to the $1,000, the Hardcore Cup ownership for a year, the mark that you are able to leave upon it, every owner gets to leave something upon the cup. I'm interested to see what it's going to come back with Tom having left upon it, and now I got to send it to Kevin, who's going to put some, what is Kevin? He's a freaking Cardinals fan, isn't he? Cardinals fan, man. It's like seeing Bigfoot, like meeting a real life Cardinals fan. What are VP duties? VP duties are basically the same duties as myself. You are giving full managerial privileges in both leagues, the AFC and the NFC, and basically the VP and myself govern everything. We decide upon if the trades, basically everything is decided upon by the vice president and the commissioner. Everything. If trades should go through, everything. We are a complete democracy. So we vote in one representative because I have no power. I oversee everything, but I'm not the final decision on everything. All of our decisions here are a democracy. All of our rules have been voted in over a long period of time. And pretty much, like last year, myself and the VP, we didn't have to do jack. Everybody pretty much knows the status quo and how the league runs, and it ran smooth, even with the adding 12 owners. The league is pretty much set up that it runs itself now. And there are little rules that you'll have to learn. The 48-hour waiting period for all trades. So basically, if you're wanting a guy to play in a Thursday night game and he plays, you need to have that trade in before basically kickoff time on Tuesday, 48 hours before that guy would be ready for the game. There's a 48-hour waiting period on all trades. That is so any owners can message myself or the vice president and voice their displeasure of any trade that may be coming through or maybe sitting in the hopper. So that is just the way it works. So you have to be thinking. That is one of the key things. You have to know about the 48-hour waiting period. Also, your 5 keepers come off the board at the beginning of the draft. So when you're looking at the draft order, realize the basic first round is the 6th round. Now when you're making your trades, draft pick trades, keep that in mind as well. Your 6th round pick is basically your 1st round pick. for VP. The signs are going in people's yards already. I can see it. Vote Mo. Mo does represent the silver and black, so he may be able to sway my vote. Yeah. We've only ever had 2 vice presidents in the whole history of the Hardcore Challenge, and that is Matt and Tom. Both have done tremendous. Matt, obviously the Heron Rule, helped add in our individual defensive players and our whole roster of individual defensive players that we use currently, and it's one of the great big additions to our team or our league. So all of our vice presidents have helped add a lot. Every new vice president gets the chance to now get behind the scenes, look and see all the changes that can be made, make suggestions, and possibly get some change in that they want to see done. So we'll see. Now, like I said, next Sunday, same time, same channel, we've got the AFC breakdown show. We will get into the AFC just like we got into the NFC tonight. We will get into the nuts and bolts of where we are at currently with the AFC. And then we're going to get ready for draft time soon. Of course, we're going to have my regular prediction show. Lines, he's not stepping down. I'm sure he's possibility going to be running again. It's a 1-year term. You have to be voted back in. It's a 1-year term. It's a 1-year term. So every vice president has to be voted back in. Matt will probably run again. Possibly. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. Looking back, league vice presidents, Matt was the 2012, 2013, and then 2014 vice president. Tom had it in 2011, then 2014, 15, and 16. Then he decided not to run again, and then Matt picked it back up again last season and ran with it. But like I said, we weren't even hardly needed last season because everything ran, quite frankly, as smooth as glass. It really, really did. By far, this is going to be our biggest season. Next week, we got a special treat we're going to drop for the champion this year. A little extra flavor that you're going to get and a little extra honor. And I think you're going to like it. So we're going to drop that next week on next week's show. So make sure you tune in. Because we want you to tune in. Now, I'm going to throw it out there. If anybody wants to pop in, we'll give this last little segment before we leave. Well, there's only 2 of you. We'll just wrap it up. Tune in next week. We'll get into the AFC breakdown, and we'll get ready for the Hardcore Challenge. Just keep posted to the page. I'll be posting a list of guys that still need to take care of your buy-in. August 12th is your date. We need your shirt payments. We need your buy-ins in. We need to get everything locked and loaded and ready to go. It's not far off. Football is almost here. Are you ready for the challenge? Season 10. Good luck. Game on.